This is the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman podcast that deals with the early life of my alter ego, J.R. Hendrick. This episode is in a narrated format, commentary by myself and J.R. Relax and enjoy the adventure. Take care. God bless. Okay, so this episode is called JR's Birthday Bash. And I believe the top song that I heard on January 20th was Fantasy by Mariah Carey. Don't know what the top movie was. So let's go ahead and get the party moving. Get the party started, so to speak. So, I'm asking for patience right now as we load this up. I got the Sprite ready for Uh-oh, we got a problem there. Oh, lovely. Means I gotta comb through all this documents. Let's see what this one is. I don't even know if it don't tell me what it is. Let's see if this even registers. Sometimes it won't. I better pause this. Great. Okay, here we go. It's going to be slow going. Here we go. Okay, so it's 7 a.m. on the morning, the 13th. Jim wakes up in his hotel room in Ogden, Utah, reading the Bible and the Fort Worth Times. Claire Luss had accompanied him and his dream team for the weekend. Today he would be speaking at a political rally for Field Ground. Yesterday's clash and dressing down of President Clinton added more fuel to his fire. Plus a pep talk from Betsy also helped. He was happy that Betsy still believed in him. 8 p.m. More like 9 a.m. rather. Jim is the keynote speaker at the Goddard School of Business Cisco Center for Innovation, talking about monetary policy reforms needed in order to correct the course of the economy. 1 p.m. Central. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Madison calls Betsy to say that she would be returning home Sunday evening and having dinner with the family, whether Kyle was ready or not. And Betsy says, I wish Jim could have done something to save him from himself. And Madison, I got a comment on this from JR. It sounds like something we need to drink about this. Yes, we do. Sounds like something that family members of narcissists will say to kind of enable them. Well, I kind of wish Jim could have done something to save him from himself. Kind of wanted himself. And so Madison says, I like and love Kyle, but he's Elizabeth Marie says, I like Kyle, but he's being pathetic. And Madison's like, I can only come up with him for so long. If God doesn't step in, our marriage may be over. Okay, so it's 5 p.m. Mountain. Jim and his team go to a steakhouse in Ogden, where Cowboy Joe McDonald raised Jim praised him for not sugarcoating his medicine for America. The mood was light. Everyone knew that Jim's appearing on the Blake Carter radio show was a slap in the face to Clinton. 9 p.m. Mountain. The Hendrick party arrives at the private jet where they would be staying for the night until departure early tomorrow morning for Washington, D.C. 7 a.m. Central. At Swainfield, Christine and Elizabeth Marie. What can I say? They're putting on their little Western flannel threads, faded jeans. Almost like a country fashion show. And Elizabeth Marie said, faded jeans and a Cowboys t-shirt, Elizabeth Marie said. You gotta do better than that, Christine said. This morning, I broke out in flannels. Mom, you really should try. No, I don't think so, Betsy says. "Oh, come on, Aunt Betsy," Elizabeth Murray said. And Betsy's like, "Well, I have church this morning." And the phone rang, and of course, it's JR. And Betsy's like, "Good morning, JR." Of course, she turns on the speakerphone. And JR's like, "Good morning, Mama. What are you ladies doing on a fine Sunday morning?" And Betsy says, "Don't give me that. It's snowing where you're at," Betsy said. "Surprised you even got out of bed this morning," Christine taunted. "Dork, it wasn't very long ago." "Christine, enough," Betsy said. "What do you have going on today?" "The usual. Church and time at the Holy Spirit Club," JR said. "Okay, so it's 9 a.m. Eastern. Jim is attending Bethany Assemblies of Christ. Reverend Nasworthy, the new Reverend for Washington, D.C., was delivering a powerful sermon on examination of conscience every day. Jim had not gone to confession to a reverend in almost a year. 1 p.m. JR returned back to his dorm in an awful mood. Lunch had been canceled at the Holy Spirit Club, so Colin got him McDonald's. Just then, Kevin McDonald walked into the dorm living room. "What's wrong, Junior?" Kevin asked. "Brad texted me after church. Says because of the snow, he ain't coming down this weekend," Gerald said. "You can bet Jim Bob isn't that far behind." "Well, I have news for you. Your father called Mike Fields when he left Utah this morning. Family and friends will be holding a birthday party next weekend at the condo." And Jared's like, "I have a feeling Brent's up to something. Roll with it. Have some spice with your paper and my career portfolio. Things are going to get really busy." 2 p.m. Central. Back in his dorm room after a date with Jesse, Brent picks up the phone and calls Kristen. "Why don't we get together for dinner tonight?" Brent said. And Kristen's like, "You're joking, Brent. You know I am small. There's snow outside. And I'd be knee deep." And Brent says, "Come on. I'll be waiting outside. Get someone to walk you to my van, and we'll go out to eat. Now look, I know you're lonely, Kristen. No, maybe this weekend, Kristen said. I like that she set a boundary. So do I. 3 p.m. Central. Okay, so Jennifer and Christine are together at Jennifer's house, and they're talking. And Jennifer's like, well, I'm surprised you're not going to the country club with Dave Morgenthau for the hayride dance, Jennifer said. He's coughing with a sinus infection. Anyway, Mama's expecting all of us at dinner. Christine, what are you going to do about the scan? And Christine's like, I'm not ready for it yet. Now, can we drop it? And Jennifer sighs. All right. Our moms are in Eastern Star. There's an Eastern Star dance on Saturday night. And I think you and David should go. Come on, Jennifer. I don't know whether Mom's going there or not. She might join Daddy in Austin this weekend. Okay. 6:30 p.m. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, everyone is having drinks in the den. When the phone rings, it's JR. Hello, Mama, JR said. Lisa, what makes you so blue? You know I like to see my cousin happy. And Elizabeth Marie says, well, I'm sorry, cousin. I'm just not in for conversation tonight. I'm wondering if it has something to do with Frank. Idiot. He thinks he'll get something from Elizabeth Marie. And when he can't, he moves up the ladder. And Jared's like, try to call me later on tonight. We'll talk. Just then, a flurry of activity took place as Donna, the governess, helps take George and Andrew to bed. Madison, how are you, hun? Betsy said. I'm tired. All that driving and everything. And the kids, Madison said. Madison, honey, take it easy. You know that the baby is going to be due in a couple weeks, Jared said. Don't remind me. Christine, can you get me some ginger ale? My stomach is bothering me. Sophie, the servant, tells everyone, goes into the door. Miss Betsy, nachos, listos. And Gerald's like, Mama, I'll call you tomorrow. So, especially once I get settled going to school. Okay, so it's 7 p.m. Central. As the family has nachos for dinner at Swainfield, JR has dinner with Brent at the Sneed Snack Bar. I spoke to your Aunt Donna. She knows that Brad and Jim Bob would probably bow out as your birthday. So, I'm going to do something about it. All of your friends and some of your family that really matter are going to be there. Going to be at your birthday party. Plus, don't forget home debate Saturday against the University of Texas. Be prepared. I'm telling you, Brent. Don't push it with Kristen. Brent says, come on. Tell me the truth. Your father looked up your... My father looked up your lobbying records and had a little help from Washington. Where you were in Austin, you did some lobbying for her. I mean, with her. And you were eyeing her. Damn it, she can't see. She's totally blind, JR said. Oh, yes, I know. And I know your father sent you to Austin to get you away from Olivia Reynolds, who you were seeing at the time, whose father was John Clifford Reynolds, a direct competitor of his. Enough! Daddy sent me to Austin to make me a man. Okay, Brent, I can only tolerate you so long, buddy. We got to do something about that mouth of his. Yeah, the bell. Okay, the next day is the 15th. No, 8:30 p.m. Okay. Madison is upstairs in hers and Kyle's bedroom when the phone rings. Obviously, it's the Value Motel. Mrs. Dawson, a man with a... Mrs. Dawson, a man with a Hispanic accent said, yeah, may I ask who's calling? Cisco Escobar of the Value Motel. Your husband is in bad shape. You better come get him. I'm on my way. Cisco tapped the phone back over to where he was talking to JR. Gracias, senor, JR said. $4,800 will be deposited in your bank account in the morning. No te preocupas, Cisco said, hanging up the phone. 9 p.m. Madison drives to the Value Motel on the border of Ridgewood and Warfield, going to get the keys from Cisco and walks towards Kyle's room. She walks in, turning on one light. Kyle is oblivious to all of it. Then she turns on the light to the sink area and sees her husband passed out, drunk, face down on the floor. "So this is how you like spending your time?" Madison growled. "Stay there." So it's obvious. She's mad, she's pissed. She slams the door loudly after turning out all the light. And you could hear a distinct muffle from Kyle saying, "I hate my life." Okay, 5 a.m. Central, the 15th. Kyle wakes up in his motel room with a smile on his face, but a heavy headache. He hardly remembers Madison being there last night. Suddenly, there's this loud knock at the door. Kyle answers it, "Wake up," Ron Moorhead said. "Kyle, why have you been acting like this?" And Kyle's like, "Yeah, I hate working the ranch. And I miss James so bad," Kyle said. And Ron says, "James was a tragic loss. But I know him. He would tell you this. Straighten up. Your wife is waiting for you at home, expecting. So right now, think about that." And Ron Moorhead leaves him and slams the door. 7:30 a.m. At Crockett House, JR is having breakfast with Andrew Shelford. "So, Randy, how's the certificate program going?" JR asked. "It's lovely," Shelford said. "Narrowed it down to argumentation and debate. I graduate in 98. What will you do then?" "Dad says I should apply to be a Social Security advocate." "Yeah, that's just wonderful. And how are things going with you and Mary Ann Bowers?" "I asked her to marry me the Saturday after finals, and she said yes." Now, Mary Ann and Jennifer Bowers were not related. Mary Ann was born in Farmington, New Mexico in 1968. They had 3 kids: Kristen, Anthony, and Catherine. 2 months ago, my wife bumped into Andy in Dallas, who said that he and Mary Ann were separated. 11 a.m. JR is having enchiladas for lunch at the Holy Spirit Club with Connie, Stoney Rosen, and C.B. Coleman. Brent's too good to have lunch with us, CB said. He's on a lunch date with Jesse. Even enough for me. So long as he leaves Kristen Haig alone, Cheryl said. Don't be grumpy. Brent's just trying to be friendly, Sonia said. Ugh. Friendly. He's trying to play matchmaker when I'm not ready. Agreed, Connie said. Well, JR and I saw what we saw last week. And I gotta say, he was looking pretty pesky. Okay, so it's 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Meanwhile, at Heritage Gate, Jim greets his dream team again. He had received an alert that Wednesday at 1, he was expected to be at the Small Business Administration for an administrative grilling by Phil Later and Leon Panetta. President Clinton's orders. He vows sometimes after dinner to pick up the phone and call Jack Robertson to hatch up a plan to hold Whitewater over the president's head. 5:30 p.m. Central. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, David meets with Christine in the living room. I want to give you a friendship ring. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Christine said. Christine, please consider letting me go with you for your scan exam. There may be no scan, Dave. It's like the Snoop Dogg song, Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. And Dave's like, what? There may be no scan, Dave. Okay, so January 16th, I believe, 4 a.m., at Springfield, Betsy wakes up to drink a cup of coffee, and Thomas is out helping the ranch hands milk the cows. And Kyle is out there reluctantly mending fence posts. But today, as soon as the sun rises, she would help with the slaughtering of the pigs. That was something that she learned at an early age. As a teenager, thanks to her father and grandmother. 8 a.m. Eastern. Meanwhile, at 14 Heritage Gate, Jim is working with a few interns on crafting a press release and creating certain sections of a new policy manual for the Small Business Administration, keeping in track of President Clinton's and the Republican Congress. "9:30 a.m. Smith Lecture Hall 212. As JR sits in the second row, Dr. Randy Wild makes his way up front. Welcome to Constitutional Law, Civil Rights. This semester, we will be covering the Bill of Rights and the relevant case law. In addition to your textbook, I want you to read the U.S. Constitution. I also want you to read the Magna Carta, and also keep abreast of the news. This is going to be very important. 12:30 p.m. Central. In Smith Hall 5, JR goes into the classroom and sits on the front right row. Dean Sati walks into the classroom when 5 other professors walk in. Welcome to your public affairs dissertation defense colloquium, Dean Sati said. These 5 professors are to be your advisors. Each of you have already been selected one. And I'll tell you something. There was a lot of competition, academic, and even downright personal, political, for who would get these slots. And here they are. Myself, Dr. Randy Wild, Dr. Andrew Harmon, Frederick McKay, and last but not least, Dr. Bruce Kinghorn. JR's face fell to the floor. As he felt pretty glum, especially when the dean made these pronouncements. This phone is not wanting to cooperate with me right now, but I'll make it. Feel free to see any periodicals of your choice. We have some favorites we recommend. If you are competent in quantitative analysis, I suggest you use that strongly. However, if you're not and you want to use secondary data, I suggest you attribute that source. Hold on. Sorry about that. The technical difficulties. I'm going to put this on Do Not Disturb so I can no longer be bothered. There we go. Now, let's see if we can get us back to where we need to be. It's crazy. I don't know. It's taking some time. There we go. Come on. Technology can be frustrating, and can't be the JR, man, that's for sure. Okay. 2 p.m. Central, in the office of Friedrich McKay, Brent is meeting with Willie about the job offer that JR has for him up at the Albuquerque Post-Dispatch as an internet journalist. Brent's thinking about taking it. 4 p.m. Eastern. Jim is thrilled that the House Small Business Committee would be submitting face-to-face initiatives for small business, the U.S. House floor, on Wednesday or Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. In Philadelphia, Jim speaks at a dinner of rising conservatives. Also present at the dinner was Supreme Court briefing clerk Barbara Holland, who at this point was separated from her husband on irreconcilable differences. Okay. Okay, so now it's the 17th and 18th of January. $5 p.m. Eastern. Jim is sitting upstairs near a dining area thinking about his day. Daddy had a complicated day. He went to Arlington to make a reluctant speech on behalf of Reverend Isaiah Friedman. Then he stood there for 10 to 15 minutes being grilled by Philip Lader and Leon Panetta. Tonight, the dream team of Jim will be dining of asado. 7 p.m. At the Texas Tech Library, JR had been studying and working on his paper all evening when Brent walks in. "I'm sorry, JR," Darla says. "It's all right," JR said. "Brent and I are going to have some candy," JR said. "Brent, took you a while." "I was just leaving." "I won't take you so long, because I wanted to tell you that I know about your plan, okay? Did you really think I'd take that job that your contact Willie offered me? Really? You really should try to learn how to start the juice." "I will, when I get you to fall for Kristen." I'm not interested." "You will. You love her." Well, I wouldn't count on that. Wait and see. 6 a.m. Central. At the ranch, Betsy is out milking the cows. 3 of the cattle looked like they were about to give birth. So, Betsy and Thomas helped them get to a stall. Let's get some bottled water. Let's get some hot water, Betsy said. And get Renee on the horn. Who knows how long this could take? Birthing cattle. Kyle should be out here. He better shape up. Because I'm ready to be the foreman of this ranch. Okay, so it's 9:30 a.m. In constitutional law, Dr. Randy Wow is talking about the right to bear arms. Dr. Wow's arch-conservative stand on the Second Amendment made me feel good. Half the class was looking uncomfortable. I was not. On the 12th, I received my acceptance letter for law school at Texas Tech and a denial of acceptance at UT Law School. While some elements of my family wanted me to go into criminal law, Dr. Wiles recommended corporate. 2 p.m. JR walks in the rain to Knapp Hall to go see Kristen. I'm surprised you walked in the rain, Kristen said. I hate the rain. I just want to give you another token of friendship. JR hands Kristen a friendship paperweight. If I didn't know any better, you're trying to charm me, Kristen said. No, Kristen. We both know we're not ready for romance. I just want you to come with me to the lounge and sit and talk. I can get fried chicken or sandwiches delivered. As cold as it is, I want pizza, Kristen said. Pizza it is, JR said. Pizza and Pepsi. It's like JR, you knew that she liked pizza and Pepsi. Didn't you know with your ex-wife? No, well, it was pizza and Dr. Pepper when we first met. Years later, when we started dating, it was pizza and Pepsi. 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Jim is happy to learn that Jack and Lucy Robertson are flying into Washington, D.C. to have dinner with him, and the next morning fly with him for the weekend rally in Austin. Betsy would also be joining them. 6 p.m. Central. JR and Kristen are having pizza at his condo as it is pouring down rain. He had asked Carmen to take Kristen home after dinner and walk her to her dorm. 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Jim is having a steak dinner with Jack and Lucy Robertson. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Oh, looks like we're almost ready, guys. I was having trouble. I'll just have to keep looking for it. Alright. Let me see where it is. Okay, we know that's not it. No. Let me make sure. No. Alright. I'll have to pause until I find it. Great. Finally found these guys. I'm sorry. Here we go. Alright. This begins the night of the 19th, and 7 p.m. Jim had managed to arrive in Austin just before us. We managed to leave for Austin just before a freak snowstorm hit Washington, D.C. Now he, Betsy, Claude, and Janet are having dinner with Jack and Lucy Robertson. 9 p.m. Despite the warmer temperatures in Austin, there was a snowstorm which hit Lubbock at 9 in the morning and was in no sign of letting up. JR is resting in the condo with Brent, Stoney, CB, and Ken. Kevin McDonald would be by the next day for lunch. 8 a.m. Jim and Betsy wake up beside each other. Now, they're getting ready to go to the Hotel Palmer for a Greenfield Grand Rally. 10 a.m. Kevin McDonald shows up at the condo, and Matilda, the cook, begins making spaghetti. He also brought in a variety of sources for JR's a subscription to the Limbaugh letter, some laminated copies of Andrew House's Fort Worth Times editorials, and a Bill Clinton parody music tape. 12 p.m. Having returned back from the Hotel Palmer, Jim and Betsy go through and receive a massage, much like his dream team is also receiving. 1 p.m. At the condo, JR calls Brad. Oddly enough, Brad had completely forgotten that it was JR's birthday. 2 p.m. Jimmer calls JR to wish him happy birthday. But he was more smug than conciliatory, making JR believe that he came up with the same excuse as Brad for reasons not to see him. Shake it off, Stoney said. Brent will be here at 5 with a surprise. 3 p.m. Central. Back at the ranch, Kyle wakes up with a terrible headache and a terrible hangover. He'd gone out to the Stardust Bar again, leaving Madison and the kids behind at the ranch the night before. 4 p.m. At the condo, JR is sitting there gloomy when his phone rings again. This time, it's his parents. "Happy birthday, boy," Jim said. There was a long pause. "Now, don't tell me you're turning back into the weeping scholar. I'll tell you something right now. I know about what Brad and Jim Bob did. And to tell you the truth, I wouldn't invite them to any more of your parties." JR, I spoke to Mary Fields, and sometimes she's going to be bringing you the old family recipe for lemon cake, the lemon cake that you want. When you get back to your dorm. And to hell with Brad and Jim Bob. What friends they are. 5 p.m. Brent walks into the door with Kristen. Okay, you know this is a setup. Look, I need to make a suggestion. JR, you and Kristen need to sit together. Because I need to show you the videos of this. It was you and her at the Texas State Capitol in Austin. Okay, and so Brent pops the tape into the VCR, and it plays and everything. And then JR turns to him and says, How'd you get these? My father once was a federal judge in Waco who could subpoena records from Austin. Well, Kristen, we can't deny it anymore. Back in the day, I did have feelings for you. Aww, Kristen said as she and JR exchanged a hug. And there you go, guys. I give this a 4.5 Sprites. Some lemon cake, some old school tart lemon cake, and a bunch of spaghetti. JR, 4.5 ginger ales, phone call from Mama and Daddy, birthday, and birthday with family and friends. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy listening to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the J.R. Hendrick Texan adventure. This is the James Hendrick Empowerment Network saying until next time, get ready for the rest of the story. It gets a little softer from here.